Okay, good to see everybody. Happy Monday. With the injury front, the three guys I talked about yesterday, Paris, Bilal, and JT, still doing some things with those guys. We'll see in the next couple days how they come out. Obviously, what I talked about yesterday, disappointing, didn't play our best ball. That's a really good football team. We needed a better collective effort to win the game, which we obviously did not do. Learn from it, move on, and go to Houston. What do we got?
Now, you mentioned that it was kind of in the plans for Owen to see a little bit more defense. Why was that the case?
I just want to see him in there. He's earned the right to play.
So was it more about what Owen's been able to bring to the table, or more about Akeem? What kind of?
And then just we thought that was the right way to play last week.
How did you feel Owen did stepping in?
Okay. He did okay. He did some good things in there. Obviously, a lot to learn from. He's been here for a couple of years now, so wanted to see him play, but he battled pretty good.
Just how valuable is it with guys like him, John Gaines getting his first start and playing all the snaps? Like, how valuable is that in the evaluation process when you get to kind of keep going throughout the season?
Yeah, I always say, like, when we start training camp with 90 guys, I always tell the coaches, like, we're going to play with all 90. Like, at some point, so you better get them ready to go and be ready to step into the role that they need. And our guys do a good job of that. It's some guys' roles change, on game day, throughout the week of practice. And some guys get put in some different spots, but that's, kind of life in the NFL, and you got to be able to do a couple different things typically. But our guys love to go out and compete and play.
Coach, what has to happen this week to get ready for Houston?
Well, we got to flush this one because it's not a great feeling. But it's a good football team. They got I think they're the number one defense in the NFL. I just started watching the tape here a little bit ago. But we definitely got to play better on three phases to stay in the game and win the game.
When you looked at the tape, what were the main kind of contributors on defense that led to this output that the Rams had?
We didn't stop the run. We got the ball thrown over our head. They played the game on their terms the entire day, and give them credit, they played extremely well.
What do you mean by played the game on their terms?
We didn't get it to third down or no pass at all.
When Matthew's throwing balls like he was, what more can you guys do? I mean, he was putting it exactly where they needed to be.
Yeah, I thought, he's playing at an elite level right now. The contested catches, you'd like to make a couple of those when we're in big box zone. Those are the ones, a couple big box zone, he made some big-time throws in there. You'd like to see those check down, where they don't go for explosives. And you got to affect them a little bit more than we did.
The pass rush, which you just hinted at, I mean, you mentioned a second ago you didn't get them into known passes. Is that part of why you guys only got to the quarterback 4 or 5 times, or were there things you guys were not doing well enough in the pass rush?
Yeah, I think that's a huge reason of it. What I call a mix down is run or pass, and each play caller is a little bit different. But when you got to play both, it's really hard to generate a lot of rush. So when you get it to known pass, which we did a couple times, I think we had a free runner, then we got off another time. Like, you can play the game on your terms a little bit. Take them for example. The first drive for us, we didn't have a third down and scored, right, our offense. But then kind of in the second half, and even the second drive where we put a field goal on the board, we converted the 1 third down to Mike, I think, maybe another 1, 2 third downs maybe. But my point is you're staying ahead of the sticks, and it's third and manageable. You don't even get it to third down, so they can't pin their ears back and rush. We never really got to pin our ears back and rush.
I guess then what did you guys not do well enough, especially I guess in the run game on early downs?
Yeah, I mean, you got to stop the run, and you can't get the ball thrown over your head. So a mix down, the blend of how that looks. We got to play with better technique, be more gap sound, knock back the line of scrimmage, tackle better, fit better. And then in the passing game, like I said, we got to make a couple of those contested catches with those one-on-one balls. And then we got to make sure the ball goes where it's supposed to go by the strength or stress of the call.
Coach, coming off of that, when you're on offense and you're trailing by 35, the Rams know you have to throw the football. How much more difficult it is for the offense when the defense understands you're going to throw the ball?
Yeah, that's it's a piggyback off tail. You're absolutely right, Craig. I always think the defense has an advantage in known pass. I really do. So they had the advantage basically the middle of the third on.
You said you're never going to question your guys' effort. The back-to-back one-play scoring drives, can that be guys starting to check out? Or
No. The pass was a ball thrown over our head and a misfit run that goes for whatever it went for. Bang, bang. Lack execution on that.
You guys have given up, you gave up 40+ the last 3 division games. Right now, where do you see yourself in this division? What did you learn about how you guys stand?
We gotta make sure that we don't give up that many points.
Well, when you talk about the fundamentals and execution and stuff, does that fall on how you're developing the players? I mean, is there what I guess leads to that showing up on a Sunday? What are all the things that produce that?
I think, just the consistency of it, but, I always say, like, they have a say too. So they're getting certain plays, they're getting their technique quicker than us. And when you look at fundamentals and technique, it's easy to say, it's hard to do. We just got to do it at a more consistent level.
You talked about the second quarter, it was 10-10, I think, midway through the second quarter, then it seemed like all of a sudden it was 31-10 before you could snap your fingers. Was there anything you think you could have done during that time to slow that kind of tsunami, or, just looking back on it, how do you think it got away right there?
Well, defensively, we didn't get the third down, and the score was ticking up. And then offensively, we didn't stay on the field on third down, convert third downs, and that we weren't ticking up the score on our end. So when that happens on both sides, the score gets out of hand.
I know you just said it's easy to say, hard to do with things like fundamentals, but I don't know, there has to be a cause for it, right? Like, there's a reason that it's happening. Are you seeing anything that is contributing to that? Like, are you seeing a reason that those fundamentals would let you down on a game?
No, I just think we got to stay on the details and make sure we're coaching the players the right way.
Coach, you mentioned flushing it quickly. How difficult is it to flush this one?
It's kind of the same thing, Craig. You got to be a pro about it, and you got to move on. It does me no good to be thinking about it right now. I always go back and, as I start watching the next opponent, I'll typically at some point during the week buzz it again, just to make sure the more you watch something, the more you see, kind of deal. And then just talk to the certain players about certain things, and give them a little cheat point here or there. Make sure they're doing the right things and are on point.
How do you see the players respond today?
They're down, obviously, you know what I mean, but they're gonna keep beating on the wall, man. You know what I mean? They're pros. We got good guys in there. They want to go out and compete. They're not happy right now, but they know it's the solutions are there. We just got to go do it.
Do you think it gets progressively harder to pull out of it when losses stack?
That's a good question. Probably everybody thinks about that a little bit different. I don't know. No, not really. You know what I mean? Because they know they're going to get tested again on Sunday. They're going to get measured on Sunday. And the most important thing we do now is recover, get some rest, and then get on to the next opponent. As easy as that. It's not easy, but as easy as that. You got to move forward.
You've done this for a while, and I'm sure you've been a part of coaching staffs that have had 5-game losing streaks or stretches where you're not playing well. How in the past did you pull out of it?
Well, you got to knock one down, and then that kind of flips it a little bit. And when I mean knock one down, you got to win a game. So you got to put all your energy and focus, trust your process, do it a little bit better, and go out and coach and play well, to win a game for 60. You got to do that for 60 minutes better than any other team. And then you're kind of out of it.
Is there anything that you can see that led to that not happening after you guys knocked one down against Dallas a couple weeks ago?
That was a long time ago, but off the top of my head, we didn't play well in Seattle, so we lost.
With Wednesday being 21 days for Troy, what's the plan to bring?
Yeah, we'll see. Not quite sure yet. I hope keeps making progress and turning the corner. I want to see him out there. When he's ready to go, he'll go.
When it comes to Kyler, I know you gave us the update last week, but is surgery on the table at all?
Not to my knowledge right now.